start the chapter 15. Let's take a look at the background. Styles and technique of opera influence other genres. That's why we need to cover this part of the history. Opera really influenced, for example, what do you think of opera? Anybody? Opera, what elements compose an opera?
Drama.
Drama, a little bit of theater. Theater, okay. What about musical setting?
All music.
All music, even the dialogue. What do we call that, the dialogue?
Recitative.
Recitative, right?
Recitative.
Speaking with notes. What about voicing?
Arias? Or
Aria, solo. What else?
Oratory.
Well, oratory is the, like I just said, oratory is the thing that's like opera with the same elements of opera except they don't stick. So you have solo, you have duet, you have trio, you have quartet, you have quintet, and so on. And then of course a big group of singers, they call that chorus. And then you instrumental group, we call that orchestra, consort, right? Or orchestra. So all these elements is in the book 8, 7, 8 of Monteverdi Concert Magical. So these are all influencing. Monteverdi Concert Magical, last 4 books. Instrumental accompaniment, basso continuous, sung with other instruments, solo, duet, trio, set up against vocal ensemble. Let me show you an example of book 8. For example, let me just enlarge it so you can see better. All right, so you have soloists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And then you have violin, viola da gamba, viol bass, and then the basso continuo. So you have different parts, solo part, and then you have ensemble, and then you have a much bigger group. So these are all have a variety of setting, That's why we call it as concerted magical by Monteverdi. 1 to 3 voices up to 6 or more. Solo, small vocal ensemble with basso continuo. Book A, we focus on Book A, Madrigali, Guarnieri e Amorosi, Magical of Love and War. Have 5 voices with basso continuo, solos, duet, trio with basso continuo, large pieces for orchestra, soloists, and instrumental ensemble. Imitative polyphony, homophonic declamation. So it's kind of like Renaissance period. We entered 17th century, so it's starting to the early Baroque period, we call that. In the Renaissance period, remember, magical often is homophonic structure and then contrapuntal texture or imitation and then homophonic texture alternating. Same thing here. A technique called stile concitato is the exciting style with rapid repeated note on a single note, whether on a quick spoken syllable or in a measured string tremolo. In the score, you will see things like this. This rapid repeated note. That's a technique, especially they often use it in the cadence. As rapid repeated notes, we call that a stile concitato. There's a lot of these kind of things going on. Like a string tremolo, this kind of thing. We call it stile concitato. is something that quite unique in the Baroque period. And later on, when we get to Mozart, we rarely see that. But Monteverdi especially, Monteverdi have this repeated notes that rapidly repeated. Called Schiller Concitata. Any question?
Was it written up that way?
Yes. Some written out that way, but sometimes at the end of the cadence, when in the Baroque it can be they probably sing. So it's a different way, depends on what period, what time period. So they will consider, in some score they probably will write a trio, but in the Monteverdi time probably bonanza. One very important thing is the ground bass. Okay, repeated bass pattern. Something called ground bass. And you will find English called ground bass, Passacaglia in Italian, chaconne in French. Why we need to learn that? Because this is a composition technique. It's quite challenging. And Bach wrote tons of it. Bach go-back variation, we will look into it when we get to Bach, J.S. Bach. The whole thing, 32 movements. Each movement based on exact same bass line. Now, can you imagine how difficult that is? And you have to go based on the same thing over and over again, but have variety on the top part about the bass line. So Brahms, Symphony number 4, he just only dared to write 4 of them because he's so scared of Beethoven's influence. Last movement called Passacaglia is same thing, a repeated ground bass over and over again. Chaconne, J.S. Bach again wrote a lot of chaconne, and even violin solo pieces is based on a same ground bass. In this case, the piece that we're looking at has a falling. That's the beginning of the ground bass history. So this repeated falling contour is suited to a lament. For example, in the book A, Lamento della Ninfa, Lament of Nymph, Monteverdi. Basically, it's all based on this. Now, but you notice the melody starting here, and they are overlapping when the second round go on, and then overlapping when the third round goes on. So if you just play the bass line, how much dissonance there is? Return to me, and then tritone, and melody repeat, but it's not from the beginning of the ground bass. See? The second measure is G to B, but here is A against B. Create this tension because of the word, the tormented. Go on, measure 3 second system, and then crash again. Harmonize, and then crash again. So if you have the continuo with the melody, crash again. And then create tension, suspension, resolve. So that's the passage from the Book of Eight Laments of Limbs. It's a lot of grief in there. Let's look at the translation of that. See the lament, falling four, starting here, continuing. They're all based on ground base. Let's look at the translation. The part that we'll listen to is on the highlight. Love, she said, stop to look at the heaven. Where is the faith that the traitor swore to me? So he left her. Let my love return. This is the part that we just look at, the crashing tone. Let my love return as he was, or else kill me, so that the amici heal. Remember that the crashing, the first time is this, the second time is that's the death. Kill me. May no longer torment myself. Poor wretch, alas, no longer can she suffer such scorn. I don't want him to sign himself away from me. I no longer want him to confide his suffer in me. So it's kind of love and hate. This exactly the love and war. Okay. So let's listen to this piece. I'll turn on the recording and then we'll come back to this translation. Downward. Soloist, Kirby. One of the best early music soprano. Clean tone. Love. Where's the faith? Traitor. Miserable. Return to be my love.